Hi, everyone. I'm Eric Bowling. Welcome to Cashin In, our Cashin In crew this week. Wayne Rogers, Jonathan Hoenig, Michelle Fields, and Juan Williams. Welcome, everybody. It was the Super Bowl airing before and after the Super Bowl. Bill O'Reilly putting President Obama in the hot seat over where his policies are taking the country. You might be scratching your head after this exchange.
Take a look at the disability explosion. I mean, it's insane. The workplace isn't any more dangerous now than it was 20 years ago. It's through the roof. You know people are conning you.
Bill, the point is we have not massively expanded the welfare state. That's just not true.
But wait, hold the phone. Take a look at this. The number of people on food stamps is up nearly 70% since the president took office, and the price we're paying for the program soaring 112% under his watch. Michelle, the welfare state expanding or not? I'm confused.
He's not fooling anyone. All of the existing entitlement programs have certainly expanded. And did he forget that he created Obamacare, the biggest entitlement program? The CBO just came out with a report this week that shows that Obamacare will lead to the reduction of 2 million jobs in America because of the Obamacare subsidies. So Americans are realizing that it's actually a better deal for them to stay at home, be unemployed, and live off of Obamacare subsidies and food stamps and entitlement programs than to actually go and work. That is the America that Obama has created.
John, do you have any idea what the president was talking about when he said we haven't massively expanded the welfare state? When you talk 100% increase, that sounds like massive.
Scratching my head, Eric. I mean, the president hasn't just expanded the welfare state. The president's whole philosophy is the welfare state, or really more specifically, a state of force, which is exactly what welfare is. You know, welfare is not compassion, it's not goodwill, it's not charity, it's force, it's government force. It's taking money from people who've earned it and giving it to people who have not. And that, of course, has dramatically expanded, not just under Obama, but under previous presidents as well. Back in the early 80s, about 30% of Americans got some sort of government welfare. It's nearly 50% now, and it's exploded under President Obama.
Fair enough. Yes, so it has exploded under other presidents. But Juan, under President Obama, that line, if you look at a line, it goes off the chart. You know, it increases, accelerates quite a bit in his term.
This is so bizarre. This is like me being in the midst of Ebenezer Scrooge on the left, on the right, all around me, you guys. This is unbelievable. You guys have missed the idea that we had a tremendous recession in 2008, an economic disaster, and it put a lot of people in economic jeopardy. And you just want to ignore it, and you're going to talk about an entitlement president, a food stamp president. Let me tell you something.
Hey, Juan,
hold
on.
No, let me finish.
Okay, go ahead, finish.
The people who get, no, hold on. The people who get food stamps in this country, 72%, I'm sorry, 90% are under poverty rate. 72% of them are in families with children.
So why doesn't Obamacare fix the economy?
Seniors with disabilities.
Juan, we just got an unemployment rate that ticked down to 6.6%. The president is out there touting his economic policies that are helping create jobs, yet that curve hasn't curved down. Fewer people aren't on food stamps. Poverty levels aren't going down. We're not spending less on poverty programs. In fact, we're spending more and more. So how do you square that circle? If we're spending more and more people need help, how is it better?
Let me answer. First of all, the president made a really right-on point when he said the value of welfare payments today is less than it was under President Reagan. So if you chart the increase in the rate of growth, yes, there are more people, but the value is less. And then the second thing to say is, what we've seen is that the rich are getting richer in this country. That's why everyone's talking about income inequality.
Right.
We have more people who are in poverty and in need.
This is a discussion on the welfare state, whether it's expanding or not. President Obama says, nope, not under me, not really expanding.
Well, obviously, you can't argue with the facts, Eric. I mean, it's up, as you said, it's up. Welfare spending itself is up 16%. You talk about food stamps is up over 100%, and unemployment up 85%. By the way, Juan, just for the record, he's been there for 5 years now almost.
I know.
So you can't say this just happened. You know, this just happened yesterday, and this is George Bush's fault. You know, and he inherited this. He inherited some of it. Of course, he inherited some of it, but. This is of his doing. He has not helped us one iota.
All right, let me do this.
You don't think he's lifted us out of the recession, Wayne? You don't think he's lifted us out?
Please, hold on, Juan. Wayne, let me bring this over to Michelle and John. Okay, Cato did a study about a year ago, and they found that of families of three, poor families of three, they receive about $60,000 in benefits from the government. Meanwhile, that same year, the average household income, median household income for people who are working is $57,000 a year. So under the Cato's theory, if you're on welfare, you're actually bringing home more money. Let me start with Michelle and go to John.
Exactly. It's a better deal for you to not work and to live at home and live off of all of these benefits. You know, under Obama, the debt has increased $6.6 trillion. And if you look at the jobs report that just came out this week, the labor participation rate is the lowest it's been in 4 decades. And can you blame people? If they're out of work, why not just continue to be out of work and live off of the government?
Yeah. Go ahead, John.
And you know, Juan wants to compare me to Ebenezer Scrooge. Well, you know, Ebenezer Scrooge didn't use a gun. And that's what government is, Juana. It's not your friend. It's not a ladder to success. It's not a helping hand. It's a gun. And, of course, the president wants to expand that not just to welfare, but, Eric, to all areas of life. You heard it in the State of the Union. Education, research, technology. There's no area of life that of human life here in America, at least, for which he proposes freedom, liberty, individual rights. He wants government to control it all. Welfare is just the beginning.
Okay, and so, Juan, there is no doubt. You can't argue with the numbers. Go to whitehouse.gov, look at the federal budget. We're spending more on welfare programs. 126 individual anti-poverty programs in 2013 alone. We're spending more. Is it helping?
Of course it's helping, unless you want to live in a castle on top of a hill like Brazil and you want to hit the lock on your door at every intersection because the poor people are laying in the street. That's not America. Let me just say, let me finish my point. Hey, gentlemen, ladies, let me finish my point for once. You know, this is so ridiculous. You talk about, oh, this is a disincentive to work. Oh, do you want to put children to work? You want children working in the mines? Because that's what we're talking about. That's the big increase in poverty.
Let me bring this to Wayne.
Juan is the king of the straw man. Juan, you are the king of the straw man.
Wayne, here's a stat no one can argue with either. From 2008, when the year before President Obama took over, till the most recent year that we have a number for, unemployment insurance spending went from $43 billion to $79 billion. You know, it went from 26 weeks to 99 plus weeks. Yet, as Michelle points out, our labor participation rate is tanking. What's going on here? We're spending more and fewer Americans are working.
Eric, part of this is the theory of Keynesian economics. You guys like Paul Krugman writing in the New York Times about how we have to continue to spend in order to spike the economy. These are guys who haven't read Schumpeter. These are guys who have not read Milton Friedman. These are guys who are buried in a theory of Keynesian economics that says if you spend more, that's going to stimulate the economy, and as a consequence, we put money in the hands of people who don't have it. That will stimulate the economy. Not true. What stimulates the economy is private spending, private investment, and people who are creating jobs, not people who are making up jobs just to satisfy the government.
Quick thought.
Can I just respond to that, Eric, really quickly?
Very quick,
Eric,
Juan,
I'd like to just respond quickly and say that Wayne, there's another theory, which is we have more seniors in the country who are choosing to retire, and that's why you see the workforce being cut in this way. It has nothing to do with the economics.
All right, we're going to have to leave it right there.